Hey everybody, it's Mickey and Lex from the front office of the Rail Yard Dogs. We are here to answer some of your questions. We got a lot, but we're going to get through as many as we can. Mickey, how are you today?
Now that we finally have the intro going, I'm doing a lot better.
That has got
So
to be take 10, 15?
at least we've been on the struggle bus, but we are in it now. So
We are,
I'm feeling a lot better.
we are certainly not video hosts. This is kind
No,
of different for us. Talking to people in person, no problem, but this is a little different, obviously, with the current situation.
yes, awkward for both, but we're gonna muscle through it. So
Yeah. So how's your quarantine going?
it's okay. You know, we've as I'm sure you've heard, Alexandra, we've been working from home for for the last month or so. So
Yes, and it's driving me crazy.
yes, I have not been out and about a bunch. I've got kind of a makeshift office set up here. So been around the house, been spending a lot of, I think my wife has seen more of me than she ever thought she was going to have to. So that's, I think that's been fun for her. And then, you know, working and then watching Netflix shows. So I just got into, I'm in the middle of Peaky Blinders. That's been my go-to, during quarantine. How about you?
I'm actually on an old one, Desperate Housewives. I watched it a long time ago, but back to it.
Oh, that's not a new one.
No, I think it came out in like early 2000s, but
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, I'm about to be mad. I'm about to finish up Peaky Blinders, but it's not over yet. So I'm going to be sitting somewhere in the middle of the series. I think there's still a few seasons to come. So
oh, that's the worst.
yeah, I know. I usually wait until they're over and then go with them. But
Yeah,
anyway, yeah.
yeah. I don't love working from home. I know you mentioned that. My boyfriend is working, so I'm home alone all day with my dog, which was nice at first, and now I'm ready for normal, as I'm sure
Yeah,
everybody is.
yeah, yeah. Looking forward to going back into the. I don't mind working from home. It's fine, but I'm looking forward to just getting back to normal and having hockey games. So
Yeah, hockey games, concerts, baseball games, even. Um,
yeah.
I'm missing all that kind of stuff. All right, Mickey, let's jump into these questions. One that we got a lot is hockey going to be around in Roanoke next year?
Yeah, I think that might have been the question that we got most often in this, and then I know I've been asked it a bunch. Uh, yeah, I mean, as soon as it's safe to go out and about, again, we will. You know, we're here ready to go. You know, the McGinn family, all of our local owners are committed to keeping and continuing on with the franchise and playing hockey, et cetera. As everybody knows, you know, nothing has been ideal about the current situation, but yeah, as soon as we're as soon as we're allowed to get back on the ice, we're going to be ready to go. So hopefully that's sooner rather than later. But yeah,
Yeah,
hockey will continue here.
yeah, for sure. I know I've gotten that question a lot from fans and talking to people about refunds and stuff too. But I think we're lucky to have as much support as we have. You and I were looking at earlier, like how many people decided to donate back their refund or however you want to phrase it. And I think it
Yeah.
was at about 20%. And that was really shocking to me. I don't know what you expected, but that's probably a little higher than I expected.
Yeah, I mean, we had, and not only the people that forwent the refund, because that's obviously huge. You know, a lot of people have pushed that into next year and have already said that they want to be a part of our organization, season ticket holders going into the next year, and people that have already committed. I mean, that's why it's people like that. That's why these teams can exist and go on. So, I think I said it in an interview. It's this team exists, you know, not because we're geniuses or great at our jobs or anything like this. This team's able to exist because we have, you know, such a strong fan base that really does vote with their wallet. So to everybody out there that did that, thank you. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank
We,
you.
we cannot wait to get back to games.
Yeah,
But
it doesn't go unnoticed. We know who you are.
yes. Um, all right. You ready for your first question, Miss Martin?
Yeah, hit me.
All right. Uh, we have a question from somebody that's thinking about getting into sports as a career on the front office side. And and I'll add a little bit to it. They said, what's the most stressful part of your job, or what's something that people wouldn't know about your job from the outside?
It's a really rewarding job. I should probably start off by saying that. But it's also really tough too. So I don't think anyone realizes what type of hours people working in sports put in. And I think that can be stressful. But I think that's offset, at least in our organization, because we all get along so well. So I wouldn't even say that that's the toughest part. Um, gosh, the I don't know if this is the right thing to say. The customer service can be the toughest part sometimes, because there's a lot that goes into putting on our games and designing packages and, what we are able to do and not able to do. And sometimes there can be a big disconnect. And so the customer service, like explaining those things,
Mm-hmm.
can be really, really stressful, because at the end of the day, like, we're here to serve people and like to help them, but it's that's probably one of the most stressful things, I think. But I mean, overall, I love it. It's a very rewarding job.
Yeah, I obviously think the best part of what we do, I mean, at the end of the day, we are able to sell experiences or memories, or however you want to put it. How many people come up to you on a daily basis and say, I grew up with the Express way back in the day. Me and my son got to go, or me and my dad, or me and, so that, like, being able to provide that for people is probably the most rewarding. The most stressful right now is the coronavirus.
Yeah, the most obvious, the elephant in the
Yeah.
room.
Um, I think in general, like, just the most stressful is how public what your job is. Like, I mean, the reality is if you have a bad game and get blown out 6-0, or for whatever reason nobody shows up to a game on a particular night, um, you know, your successes and your failures are all just public. So a bad day at the office for us, everybody knows about it. Whereas if we worked, just a normal office job, you can have a bad day and maybe nobody outside of your wife or spouse or anything like that would know about it. So I think maybe that's the most stressful,
Yeah.
how public your successes and failures can be.
Yeah,
But
I wouldn't have thought of, like, looking back to before when I started this job, that's not something I would have thought about at all.
yeah, no, I mean, until you do it and have to um, face the music, so to speak, on whether you've done a good job or not a good job, or anything like that. I don't think you really comprehend, what what that can be like. But I mean, that's part of the job though too. So,
Yeah.
but that may be, I don't know. Like I said, if I was gonna, sum it up, that might be the most stressful part of it for me anyway. But,
Yeah. Um, we got a few questions just about, is the team considering going up to a different league? Obviously, the ECHL would be the first jump. Someone even asked about jumping to the AHL. I have my own thoughts on this, but do you kind of want to elaborate on why we're at what league we're in right now?
yeah. So I actually, I have some very unique insight in this. I have worked in single A hockey, double A hockey, and triple A hockey. So I've worked at every level outside of the NHL. And the short answer is no. We're not looking to move up into the ECHL or the AHL. I Out of all the leagues that I've worked in, I think I like the SPHL the most. I think it provides a tremendous amount of value for the fans. I think it is good quality hockey. I'm very proud of the entertainment factor that we put on. And at the end of the day, I think the quality of player and quality of guys that we've gotten to come through this team and become part of the community is, second to none. So I think you get a really great mix of all of those things within the SPHL that allows you to do what we do here and get the kind of guys that we get here, and connect with the community in the way that we do, that I don't know that you can get in any other league, or at least that whole part of it coming together. So, and I mean, and the other part of it is just sustainability. I always say, you know, our goal is to make sure that we have next year and have next year and have next year. The SPHL is a league that allows us to do that, and I don't know that we have that security anywhere else. So that's my thoughts on it. So.
Yeah. You brought up sustainability, which I know is something that you guys preach, not just you, but ownership as well, that the team's sustainable. Another question that we got a lot of is, did the team lose money this season because of the coronavirus stuff, which might seem obvious, but I know you alluded to it a little bit in like your letter from the president too, but.
Yeah, short answer, yes.
Yes.
Yes, we did. Yeah, I mean, I talked about it in the letter. I mean, losing 25% of our season means losing 25% of our revenue. That's a tough pill to swallow. Like I said, we're lucky to work, and when I say we, I mean me and you, and the rest of our organization are lucky to work for the ownership group, the McGinn family, and the local owners that have made the investment in the community and, you know, have said, you know, despite, you know, having to deal with losing 25% of the season, that, you know, we're not going to be going anywhere, that we're committed to Roanoke, and that we want to be here. So yes, we're looking forward to putting 1920 behind us and on to a much better year, hopefully. So where we can play all of our games. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, it's so weird that we didn't get to like celebrate the 4th season, because I know that the staff personally celebrates obviously after the season is over, and as do the players.
Yeah, it's just a very, very unusual ending to a season. In my 10 years, I've never had anything like it. So, but yeah, to better times, right? Speaking of, another question we got a couple of times. A lot of people ask for like our top couple of dogs memories. I'm just going to ask for, what is your 1 or 2 favorite dogs memories?
The first one, and it's kind of like my go-to every time someone asks this, or that I get to talk about this, was our first game in franchise history. That being, that was my first hockey game ever. I know you know that. I don't know if everybody knows that, but obviously my first game that I was working as a professional, but I'd never seen a live hockey game either. I did grow up in Roanoke, but I did not grow up around the Express. We went to Avalanche games. So that was a really wild experience. But that was so energizing and encouraging for the rest of the season. And that's a moment that I kind of go back to season after season when we come to new opening nights to kind of relive that energy that was in the Berglund Center.
I don't know. You and I remember opening night very differently.
Yes.
I think I was much more stressed than you were.
Yeah, I didn't know what to be stressed about. That's the thing.
That's fair enough. So I'm not going to, an opening night went great. It went off without a hitch or very few hitches. So that was all good. But favorite memory, I have a couple of them. Military night year 1, when we, both of our goalies got hurt, and we ended up winning the game, I think 3-2. It was either 4-3 or 3-2, with a gentleman named, I believe his name was Michael Peters. And he was just an emergency backup, we called. He was in grad school, and he came in to start the second period. And between our guys playing on the ice and the crowd, and we held on to win the game, and, you know, to win with an emergency backup playing 2 periods was really cool. And it was just like seeing him after the game. He was a guy that never thought he was going to play pro ever. Came in, made like 23 saves, and we had a specialty jersey that night. So I actually, the team bought his jersey. So to be able to give him that was pretty cool.
Well deserved.
Yes, for sure. So that's one of those memories I'll always have. Selfishly, I have to say beating Peoria last year. I think I'll say the home game, not the just specific memory of the home game. I want to say we only had like 1,800 people or so.
Well, it was a weekday playoff game, right?
Yeah, we had found out like 3 days before that's when the game was. We only had 1,800 people there, which is one of our smallest crowds ever in the history of anything. but that may have been one of the loudest crowds that I've heard there throughout the whole game, because we had 1,800 of the most passionate fans that we've ever had at a game. So going and winning that game. I remember Chuck Baker called me after that, just out of nowhere, and he said, he goes, Mickey, I have to tell you, he goes, I understand that we only had 1,800 people at that game last night, but that was one of the greatest sports things that I've ever been a part of. He goes, just with the energy and the excitement and the game and all of that. And Chuck, I mean, anybody that knows Chuck from Haley Toyota, he's been around the block. He has been to sporting
Yeah.
events, things like that. So that was pretty cool. Like I said, to get that kind of energy out of 1,800 people. And the outcome that we won was pretty great as well. So
yeah, something that I feel like is a reoccurring theme with our players, like when Brian does his interviews with them, they always say that Roanoke is a really loud place to play, and they're obviously playing in every arena, which I think is something special. Obviously, I don't have any experience myself with that.
yeah. I can attest to that. I have not been in every arena yet, but I think I've been in 7 or 8 out of the 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I would put us in the top. We're definitely in the top 2 loudest. Yeah, and I don't even know that it's close. So
That's
yeah,
really cool.
we're very fortunate that the atmosphere in our games is solid. So is it my turn to ask a question or your turn to ask a question?
Go ahead. I think
this one will put a smile on your face. We got this one once or twice. Do you still talk to Parrish?
yes.
Yeah, no, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, you probably feel the exact same way, but everything that the 3 of us went through the first 3 seasons brought us all pretty close. So he quickly turned into a friend for me, not just a coworker. So
Yeah.
he is quarantining up in Waterloo. I think he's like me more than you. He's going crazy. He needs some social time.
Yes, yeah. And for those of you that don't know, Parrish actually lived with me for 3 years. So yeah, he's one of my best friends. Me, Alexandra, and him have had a couple of video chats.
Couple.
Okay, a lot of video chats while we're quarantining. So yeah, he'll be one of my best friends forever. He's doing well in Waterloo. He's their director of ticketing. And yes, Alexandra is correct. He is a social butterfly, as you all know. So having to sit by himself in his apartment is driving him nuts. So
it probably went Parrish, let's go out, let's do social things all the time, and then like me in the middle, and then there's you like grump.
Yeah. Yes, I am the 75-year-old in the 35-year-old person's body. So
yeah, something like that.
I am more of a body sit on the couch type of person. So
all right, let's see. I got another question for you, Mickey. What's it like working for the McGinn family? I hear they can be difficult.
This question actually made me laugh because as we were reading through these, you guys had the option to put your name on them and not put your name on it. And this one did not have a name on it. But I recognize that tone and writing. And this question was submitted. Let's call him Bob M. No, that's too obvious. Let's call him B McGinn. Yeah, Bob thought he would sneak one past us and try and get my honest thoughts about working for his family. So I caught him on that and called him out the other day, and we had a giggle about it. But no, I've gotten to know Bob and his family pretty well over the last, it is 4.5 years now. I cannot believe it's 4.5 years. No, it's good working. It's good working with Bob and the McGinns. They've always been great to work for. They've treated me and my family personally very well. Anything within the team, whether it costs $1 or $10,000 that I've asked for, he's always said, let's make this the best. Let's invest in the team. And I will say this, that Bob all the way down to Brock and everybody in between, Jamie, Ty, Corey, they are very family oriented. And we've been fortunate that they've taken, this team and our staff and even the people of Roanoke and really local owners as well, and kind of brought them into that McGinn family. So I know I deal with Bob, Bob a lot more than you do. What have you thought about working with the McGinn family and our local owners?
I obviously see the local owners way more, and I think highly of all of them. I know you guys are watching this. So thanks for all the encouragement and messages. It doesn't go unnoticed that Mickey and I get right now. I remember we were doing like a post-season evaluation, and Bob was conducting it. And this was still pretty early on in the Rail Yard Dogs. And he just very genuinely asked if I had everything that I needed to do my job well. And that went a really far way with me, and I haven't forgotten about that. But I mean, that just speaks volumes to how the McGinn family is. They just want to take care of us and the whole franchise.
Yeah, no. Like I said, it's this is a great ownership group. We're very lucky to be a part of the organization. I'm very glad I moved, me and my wife, across country to get here. That was not an easy decision to make. So very, very thankful that we did, though.
All right, we got a question for you, Mickey. It says, Mickey, who was your favorite player from last year?
Well, I'm going to answer this in a different way. And this is going to come as no surprise to you, but I think it's probably news to a lot of people. Within the front office, we don't really fraternize with players a whole bunch. We kind of keep the hockey side and the front office side separate. Like obviously, Dan, our head coach, is staff, so he's, we all interact with him a lot, but we kind of leave the players to him. So I don't really, aside from like the captains or the team leadership, I don't talk to a whole bunch of people other than in passing. But I'll go to like players of the past, I guess, because after they don't play here anymore, you get to know them at least a little bit more. And probably, it probably stays with team leadership just because I've gotten to know them most of all. So like, Nick Schneider, Colin Murray, not Steve.
He'll appreciate that.
Yeah, not Steve. I'll throw Kelsey in there though. Kelsey's good people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I probably have talked to them the most. They're by and large, every player's been a pretty good guy for the most part that's come through here. But those three guys would probably be the guys that I talk to the most, and would say that I get along with, or et cetera. Not that anybody's been bad. And by far the most awkward person, Jeff Jones.
Oh.
Yeah, I've had way too many awkward hellos and seen way too many awkward interviews that we've had to edit. Jeff, if you're out there, buddy, stop being so awkward.
I'm sure it's not intentional, but
I know. I had to call him out on it though. At least we'll get a chuckle. Maybe we'll cut that part out. But you have anything to add, Miss Alexandra?
The only interactions I really have with the players are like for the community appearances, like when we go to schools and stuff, which is that's probably one of the most rewarding things or parts of my job too, going into elementary schools and just seeing kids' faces light up, But yeah, I've always talked to the captains the most. They're always the best at communicating what the front office needs from the locker room, basically, and scheduling those types of events and radio interviews and that kind of stuff. So Travis, definitely nice guy. I definitely talked to him the most this year.
Yeah,
but
he's a good.
Steve in the
Travis
past.
Travis has been a great captain. So, Alexandra, what is it like working for the pro team in your hometown?
Being from Roanoke and then working for a team in Roanoke where you have so much support and fans, I probably have a greater sense of pride for that. Since I am Roanoke born and bred, it's just that much more near and dear. Like I said earlier, like I didn't grow up going to Express games. We went to Avalanche games, but it's really cool to see fans returning back to hockey. They went to Express games with their family and now they're coming to our games. Granted, we get a lot of the same stories over and over again, but it's still cool to hear those memories, which is what we're all about at the end of the day.
That's the goal.
Mickey, you've worked in a lot of markets. What makes Roanoke different or special?
That is true. This is my third market that I've been in. I worked in 2 in Illinois, and then this one. I don't know that different is the right term, but I can say like what makes Roanoke successful or why this is a good market. For minor league sports, it kind of boils down to one thing, and I think you actually just said exactly, or kind of your answer is kind of the same answer for me. Is that Roanoke is a place that people grow up, they live, they stay, and they're proud of being from there. Like there is such a thing as Roanoke pride. So I think like that is what I noticed when I moved, as somebody that is not from here, that I noticed very quickly that the people that are here and do live here are very proud of being from here. Um, and that type of thing is what, when you have that civic pride, that's what makes a team like this successful, because they really embrace you and say, these are our guys, this is our team, and we're going to support them. So I think that is what I noticed first and foremost as being an outsider and coming in, is that you really do have that here. And that's why I'm happy to be here and glad to hopefully be putting a team on the ice that Roanoke can be proud of. So
Yeah,
that's the goal.
awesome. Well, thanks guys for watching this and submitting your questions. We are trying to make sense of this new normal, just like just like everybody else. So keep an eye out for more content. Thank you for supporting us. We do have some jersey auctions going on right now. Anything else, Mickey, you want to add?
We did it. We got side note, just so everybody knows, trying to get this interview started lasted 3 times as long as the entire interview.
Yeah.
Our outtakes of this would be ridiculous to say the least. But I once again just thank everybody for the support, the kind words, etc. So we're looking forward to getting back to normal, and until then, everybody stay safe.
Yep. Stay safe, guys. Thanks.
Thank you.